are going to be making some homemade chicken soup, or you can call it Italian wedding soup. So what we're going to be doing today is trying to put some things together in reference to creating the wonderful soup that my grandmother always used to make. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get the eggs set up so that I have them ready. Hello, hello. So I'm going to take out my eggs, and this way here, I can get that prepared. So I can put my eggs in my soup, as you all know. And as well as making my soup, I am going to also have, I'm going to try to set this, and hopefully you can see it, what I'm doing, maybe not. I'm going to come up with a way that this is going to work. So you can watch me cooking. Let's see if this works. Okay, great. So here I am, and I am in my kitchen. And today we're going to make some Italian wedding soup. So before I get started, I want to try to, let me get my pan out. Okay, so I have my frying pan. Hello, hello. So thank you for joining me. Hey, Joseph Clark, been a minute. So I'm going to put some butter in my frying pan here. So let me get that for you so you can see what I'm doing. All right. So anyway, as we're getting started today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of butter in my pan so that my eggs do not stick. Okay, probably 2 little things of butter. Once I do that, then I'll be able to more so make sure adding a little bit of oil, just a little, because I just don't want that omelet part. I'm making like an omelet, and I don't want that to stick to my pan. So what I want to be able to do is, see if I can turn you a little bit. All right, so you can't really see there, can you? All right, let me see how I can do this so that you can see what I'm doing. Try this like this. All right, oops, not really. Okay, guys, bear with me. I'll put a rock there to hold it up. Perfect. So, as you can see, I have my pan here, and I have my bowl that I'm going to crack my eggs in, and I'm going to turn the stove on to about medium high, pretty much. I'm probably going to use about 6 eggs. So as I use these 6 eggs, what I'm going to do is crack the eggs into this bowl, as you can see, and that way, let me bring my trash can over so it's more convenient for me. So, crack my eggs. That's 1. That's 2 with a little shell. Let me take that out. Always use the shell that you crack the egg with to try to get a little piece of egg out if you get something in there. Works perfect every time. So that's 3, 4, 5, and another piece, a little piece of shell. Oh, hell. Did I get it? Yeah, I got it. Okay. And 1 more to go. So that's 6. Okay. Now, depending on how much egg you want in there, we'll decide on how many eggs you use. Now, I do use sea salt for my cooking, which I love. This is the Himalayan salt as well. Mine is, it's a minced salt of sea salt for today is what I'm using. So I am going to pour a little bit of that in my bowl, only because I want my eggs to have some kind of flavor. I also put a little bit of Italian seasoning I love McCormick's, but I always use, this one here happens to be Mrs. Dash. But I put a little bit of Italian seasoning in there. Garlic, being Italian, goes in almost every single thing that I make. So I put garlic in my eggs as well. The next thing that I want to put in there is I love onions that have to do with my eggs. So I put onion powder in there as well. Also, some black pepper will go in here. So here's some black pepper. So, as the day goes on, here we go. Next up will be a little bit of breadcrumbs. So, why do we have to use breadcrumbs? Well, the breadcrumbs helps to create this texture that you want in the eggs. So, I sprinkle just an eyeful, which is probably about a quarter to a half a cup. Pretty much about a quarter to a half a cup. So then I will get my whisk. And I will mix this up. All right. So, as I got my whisk, I'm going to, break this up as best as I can. First, I'll break all the yolks up inside, and then try to whisk this around in order to get the consistency that I want. Now, mind you, it is going to be a little bit thick, and I'll show you. So, you'll see it is thick. I'm going to stand over the sink for a second as I just spin this a little faster, just so I don't want to make a big mess, because I already started to. So as I'm mixing this egg mixture up, making sure I break up all the yolks and put a little bit of energy into this to get fluff in here, this is very important. A lot of you are going to be able to receive a message from me today, so I'll be doing that in a moment once I get things a little bit under control here. But first thing I want to do is put the fluid around in my pan so that nothing sticks, so I can cook these eggs. So as I put this egg into the pan, that's number one. Perfect. You run some water in that bowl just to get that cleaned up. Also, too, yeah, I made a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. Clear that off real quick. All right, so as my egg cooks, and I'm just going to stick this lid on it just to get it to, as you can see, so it'll cover up, so it'll cook well and cook quickly. So meanwhile, I can put my breadcrumbs back so I don't go crazy with stuff. I have this dish rinsing out. And a spoon as well. Next up, I'm going to cut this onion, because in my soup, I am going to want to have some onions in there as well. So I'm going to put you right here on the counter so that you can see that I am going to cut this onion up. What I do is I cut off each end, and it's just much easier for me to get the peel completely off when I do that. So I just cut off each end, and then I take a little slit down the onion itself. Once I do that, I'm able to just pick it up and peel it and get the extra peel off. So much easier. And it's like 1, 2, 3 pretty much, and you're done. So as you can see, my onion is now peeled that fast. So I'll take this into the trash, and there we have it. Now I am going to want my onions to be a little bit on the chunky side, but not real, definitely not thin. So I just start taking the onion, and I hope you can see it. Let me see. All right. Oops. All right. Let me see if you can see that. So I'm going to take the onion, and I'm just going to start cutting. And I cut around the core in the middle, because I just don't want that part. I never do. I never want that part. I don't know why. I just don't. But I leave this part around the house. This part of the onion, too, is very good to take care of bacteria, germs, things that might be in the air, viruses, flus, things of that nature. It also helps if you have asthma to open things up, but it does get rid of a lot of things. And being that I'm a smoker, I do a lot of coughing. So when this is open, I actually don't do any coughing at all. So it's really, really good to have. So I'll finish cutting these up into pieces, definitely into chunky sized pieces, because I want the flavor. But at the same time, I want to be able to see the onion. Some people may not want to eat the onion, but they like the taste of it. So it's big enough that you'll be able to take it out, so to speak. So then what I'll do here is I will take this. Let me bring my pot over here. So this is the pot that I'll be cooking my soup in. So I'll hold this here and I'll just throw these onions into the pot really quickly. Okay, so now I have the onions in my pot. The next thing that I'm going to do, eggs look pretty good, they're looking good, is I have my carrots. So with the carrots that I have, these are my organic carrots, and what I'll do is I'll cut the band off real quick. Yep, cut that right off. I rinsed these already once, but I'm going to rinse them again because they are grown in the dirt. Carrots come in the ground. They're fertilized with horse manure and whatever else. So guess what? I want that rinsed off. So as I take my carrots, and I do have them rinsed, with this now what I'm going to do is I take the ends of the carrots, because these ends have little things on them. We don't want that. So I cut off each end. Once I get those ends cut off, discard them into the trash. If you have a compost, that's great. Next thing I'll do is detach the carrot from the actual strings. And I'm going to save some because these I'll probably throw outside for the rabbits along with anything else that I come up with. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I thought I lost you guys. All right, we're here. We're still here. Okay. Yep, we're still here. Okay, so anyway, so I took these stems off now, as you can see, and I kip a little bit so that the animals will have something to eat as well. So I'll take my carrot, and I like to cut my carrots on an angle. So if you can see this, instead of cutting my carrot this way, my grandmother never did, it was always on an angle. So I will cut the carrot this way. And I don't make them too thin, but I don't make them too thick. It's enough to get the proper texture. I don't peel these because the skin on the carrots is where a lot of nutrients are. And again, like I said, these were washed twice. You can wash in vinegar, you can wash in regular water, whichever, salt water even, whatever makes you feel comfortable. So as I cut these carrots on an angle, again, like I said, they don't have to be real thin. They just don't have to be. This is a delicious way to make your homemade soup. I try to use as much organic as I can. Unfortunately, I didn't succeed in that all the way. But either way, I am still working with the good broth. Also working with chicken broth as well. I don't like those little hairs on my carrot. So I'll take them off. All right. So as you're going to be able to see, my carrots are all here. If I see some of those little hairs, I will trim them off of there because I just can't take it. I really can't. Maybe I should have peeled them before. Usually I don't, and I don't usually see all these, but I guess because it's organic, they may have a little bit more than I'm used to. But it's okay. I'll just, like I said, as I see them, I'll just pick them off. There's not that many. A couple little pieces here and there. But that's it. So for the most part, we're pretty good with this. Anyway, I've got the carrots cut. I've got them cleaned up as much as I can. And like I said, I don't like to have them little hairs on that. Just don't. So pretty much looking good here. Looking good. There's a couple. Oh, that's good. Yeah, there's just a couple. But listen, it won't kill you, I guarantee you, because it's all part of the vegetable. So I'll grab my pot once again, and I'll throw, who's that out there? Oh, and I'll throw my carrots in here. That one I might want to cut up a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. So then we have the extra carrot there. Put that in there. So the next thing that I have to go in there as well is going to be my scallions. So I didn't take the scallions and cut them yet. I haven't been able to do that quite yet. So what I'm going to do is rinse these off. And I know that you know with the scallions, you cut the ends off because you don't want to use these furry things here. You just don't want to use that. So I'll put these together and take that little bit of end off. So then I'll clean up this mess here just so I don't mix nothing or contaminate nothing. Let's see. Also, too, let me just see these little carrots right here. Hold on one second. Let me clean this carrot right here up. Because these two, I didn't like them, so I didn't cut them yet. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you just real fast. Going to clean up these carrots. Okay, my egg's getting ready to turn, so let me show you that. So I don't want to burn it. So we're going to move right along here. I'm going to take you right over here. And as you can see, the egg is cooking up very nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'll take this egg, and let me put you right here. Hopefully you can see it. So I'll take this egg here, and I'm going to flip it over. And it looks like a pancake. You see? This is the egg. So I'll turn this off because this is pretty much done. With the egg, though, you always want to add a little bit. Let me see if I can find it. I had fresh Parmesan cheese in here. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm looking for my Parmesan cheese that I can't seem to find. Where could it go? I just had it. Oh, here it is. It's right here in my drawer. Okay. So with the egg, and as you can see, it kind of bubbled up a little bit on me, which is okay. Because I am going to put Parmesan cheese. Oops. Of course, I didn't show you that. So I did put Parmesan cheese on it here. You can see the Parmesan cheese. Okay. And also I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the other side as well. Wait a minute. Can't open the lid up. All right. So I am going to sprinkle a little bit of this on this side as well. It gives it just such a great texture, a great taste. So pushing that down, because it does puff up on you, and I don't want it to puff up. So you can see this egg, is beautifully made, So we're all set where that's concerned. The next thing that I'm going to have here is I am going to come over here and finish. Hold on, you guys. Okay. So I'm going to finish with these extra, I don't know if you can see them, these extra carrots that I have here. So I'm going to cut these real quick. And I'm just going to put these into the pan as well. And I am cutting them on an angle because that's just the way I think they look better, they taste better. And then you can tell that it's also homemade. So I'm going to put these into the pot. So as they're into the pot, now as I said, I was going to start working on the scallions here, and hopefully you can see them. So with the scallions, I don't know where I can do this. All right. Put the egg there. So with the scallions, I cut the ends off here, and then I'm going to start slicing them. Okay, I'm going to start slicing these. They give a really good flavor. Not only are they medicinal, and they give you great healings or great clearing of your lungs, your asthma, things of that nature. And then I do cut up a little bit of the green. Not a whole lot of the waste, but you can use a lot of this green part for the seasoning, for the flavor. So with this here, as you can see, beautifully cut, I'm going to put that into the pot. That will give a delicious flavor along with the regular onion that I put in there. The next thing that I'm going to work on is, in fact, the celery. So with the celery, now the celery I use usually every morning anyway, and that's for my juicer. So I'm going to take about 2, maybe 3. I think I'll take 3 stalks of celery here. So I have 3 celeries. Again, everything, I rinse off everything. I go crazy with rinsing everything off. My counters had to be wiped down with bleach before I started, so I went crazy with that. So I'm going to take the celery and I'm going to cut these ends off. And I'm going to switch it around and put it together, and I'm going to cut these ends off. And when I do that, done. So then the same thing with the celery. All goes on an angle, okay? All goes on an angle. So the way I cut my celery, I like it all on an angle. So this is what I'm doing now. And again, this is not only for flavor, but for balance. Celery also is amazing for inflammation. Really good. Celery juice in the morning, straight celery juice on an empty stomach. 30 minutes. Wait until eating, 30 minutes. But I have now my celery all cut up. And I put that in the pot. So I'm going to show you what my pot's looking like right now. Because we're going to move over here in a minute. In a minute, we're going to move over here. So I have the celery. The last thing that I'm going to add in is my cabbage. Now with the cabbage, I am going to just cut a chunk of the cabbage. As you can see, just this way. I don't put a whole lot of cabbage in. I will take off the outside leaf. I will rinse this. Even though I took off the outside leaves that were exposed, I will rinse this, and I will cut this up long ways, long ways, long ways. As you can see, doing this because it will take care of itself. I hear the mailman out there, I think. So as I'm cutting through the cabbage, the cabbage will cook. Yep, there goes the mailman. Poor thing. Look at the mailman. Poor thing. So I'm getting ready. I'm going to get ready to start giving messages to all of you. So be patient. Getting ready. I just want to get things cooking. Or starting to cook. So again, I'm going to pick up my cabbage and take it to the pot. Which I should bring the pot over there. But I put the cabbage in there. Now. With all those vegetables in there, I have now, almost last but not least, I have my fresh garlic cloves, as you can see. I usually use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I usually use 10 cloves of garlic. 10 cloves, yep. They're like, did she say that right? I sure did. So what I do with the garlic, the same thing. I cut the ends off real quick. Just the little ends. Just to kind of open it up, because that's where it grew from. When I talk about the ends, I'm talking about the little hard parts that's right there. So I cut that off on each end anyway, just because. Maybe you don't have to. Maybe a lot of you don't. That's okay too. Do things the way you like. This is just my way, my grandmother's way, but you don't have to do it like that. So what I'm going to show you next is with the garlic. I need the garlic to be able to open up in there. So what I do is I'll take each garlic, I'll hold it down and bang it. Oh man, bracelet. So I bang it so that I smash the garlic. I want to smash it because I want it to be aerated. I want it to be able to be exposed. I want it to open up. I want to get, I want to get everything that I can from it. All right, so I do that with a flat knife, and make sure your hand's open when you do it, or you can cut yourself. So as I got the garlic and missing one clove, I'll just say, but I'll leave it out. I put the garlic cloves in there. The last but not least thing that I'm going to do, besides a squirt of lemon juice, definitely going to squirt some lemon juice in there. The last thing I'm going to do is I have some ginger. Everybody is aware of ginger. With the ginger, I take my peeler and I just clean the ginger up. I just want to clean the ginger up a little bit. I don't want all that skin going into my stuff. I don't want that. I don't want it from the ginger. You can soak it in there and then take it out later if you want. I then use my knife again to cut off the ends because I'm crazy about ends. There's a little spot on this ginger. So I'll clear the spots off. Okay, so as you can see, my ginger is pretty clean here now. So the piece of ginger that I want to use is right here. Ginger can be very hot, so be careful on how much ginger you put in your pot. Okay, be careful. So what I'll do is show you by bringing this pot over here. I take my ginger and I just grate a little bit, just enough, because ginger has a very strong flavor. So you want to just be careful how much ginger you're putting in, because it will change the flavor of your soup. All right. So now that I'm able to clean up this mess over here, hold on one second. All right, let me put this ginger here so I can put that back. clean off my cabinet. All right, so now let me get my paper towel because it's only vegetables. Oops, what did I do now? Okay, he's there? Yeah, okay. So it's only the vegetables that I have here in the way. So that's a good thing. All right, so as I do that, wipe off my fork. Now my surface is back to the way I want it. Okay. Next up, my ginger is finished. So we've done the ginger, we've done the lemon, we've done the celery, we've done the onions, we've done the scallions, and we've done the cabbage. Next thing I want to do is get my fresh parsley, which is really important. Can you see me, you guys? Okay. Let me see how I turn that around. Hold on, you guys. I don't know what I did. Okay. Not sure what I did, but I think I'm going to have to turn this around now because now you're not seeing me. So I'm going to turn this around and hopefully you can see me. I don't know how I hit that button. So I have my fresh parsley. So with my fresh parsley, again, I want to rinse it off. But it is fresh parsley that was just bought yesterday from the organic section. And I'm just going to kind of chop that up a little rough. A little bit rough. And the reason I chop it rough is because I want to be able to see this in my soup. Okay? I want to be able to see this in my soup. So as you can see, I'm going to sprinkle the fresh parsley in my soup. All right? Not to mention, in my soup, I will add to everything. I will add garlic powder. Lots of it. I will add, oops, hold on 1 second. Okay. I will add onion powder. I will add a little bit of sea salt. I will add black pepper. I will also add in the spinach leaves after I put my broth in. So what I want you to do is see the broth that I'm using is the bone broth, the vegetable broth, and the chicken stock. So I'm going to start with the bone broth. Hopefully you guys can see me. I'm going to put you right over here. And hopefully you'll be able to see. I'm going to open this up. Oh, okay, great. I sure will. Thank you for that. Save the celery leaves. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pour this bone broth in, as you can see. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm pouring all the bone broth in. Actually, I use chicken, which I have over here to cut up yet. I have chicken breast, boneless, antibiotic-free, organic chicken breast that I've used. After I've put in the bone broth, then I'm going to add my vegetable broth because I want all the benefits of the vegetables as well. So I will add in one of these vegetable broth. This one happens to be low sodium, which is why I did add a little bit of sea salt. Normally I wouldn't, but it is low sodium. And this is the vegetable broth. Hopefully you can see this. Maybe you can't see this. Oh boy, let me turn it this way. So you missed all that. Okay, I'm sorry. So this is the vegetable broth. And last but not least, if you missed me doing this one is the chicken broth. Chicken stock, supposedly. Chicken stock, sorry. So I have the chicken stock going in. Hopefully you can see that. Going in, splashing all over, but I love it. So that is the chicken broth. With that being said, as I said, I do like to add a little bit of my spaghetti sauce into the soup. And when I add the spaghetti sauce, what I like to do is I like to put it from what I've made either last night, which was my chicken parm. So I am putting my spaghetti sauce about 2 big spoonfuls of like this, because I like my sauce to have that red color. I love that. So I'm going to bring it back over here for a second, because I want you to be able to see. Let's see if you can. I want you to be able to see that, you put this parsley here, my chicken breast that I had baked in the oven. And yes, I bake it with sauce on it, as you can see. But I baked it in the oven. And what I'll do now is cut this chicken breast so that it can cook the rest of the way. It's pretty much 99% cooked. But what I like to do, and you'll see the pieces that I have, I like to put that in my soup when I know that this part is good, because I have all the juice from the beef, from the chicken broth, from the chicken stock and the vegetable stock. All that is what's giving me the nutrients that I need here, without having to worry about anything else. So I am going to cut this chicken slices in half because I don't want them too big. I want you to be able to put it on your spoon. So that's the fun part. But I hope you guys are enjoying this. I love sharing what I like to cook and what I like to do. I know a lot of you talked about my chicken parms and things of that nature, and it is amazing, I must say. Anybody pretty much can vouch that my chicken parm you can eat with a plastic fork. That's how tender it is. So as I put the chicken into my pan, the chicken is now going into my pan, and I'm just going to rinse my hands off right here. I'm going to clean up the counter just a little bit, and then I'll be right with you. Give me just 1 second to just clean up my space as I go a little bit crazy. I'm going to need to vacuum my rug. It's going to make me nuts. But just give me 2 seconds, you guys. 2 seconds. So as I said, I wanted to talk about air signs. Air signs, I had put some cards up on the window, and I'm going to talk about air signs right now, because air signs, you've been going through a lot of changes. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You've been going through a lot of different things, or you've been trying very hard to make something happen, trying to get something to work out pretty much like in your favor. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, air signs, some of you don't even believe what you have going on is for you or meant for you or is possible. Some of you have a lot of doubts in a situation. Some of you aren't giving yourselves enough credit in a particular situation. So I'll leave that with you to decide what that is for each one of you. I also will be able to say that air signs, there is something brand new about to occur for you, and this is going to make things so much easier for you. What this is going to do is open up doors that you had no idea was going to open. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of opportunity here for you to be able to open up new doors, start new projects, new things, get things underway. So what I'm saying is for air signs, there is going to be a blessing in disguise happening. It's something that you least expect. Air signs, it's also going to be a situation that is going to maybe trigger you in a certain kind of way, but this trigger is not going to be a bad trigger. This trigger, in fact, is going to open doors, whether it's through your employment, whether it's through your family, whether it's through relationships. Whatever this happens to be, this is definitely going to open those doors that you've been waiting for. There's been some things going on for air signs that may have struck you as odd, or may have struck you as feeling as if maybe you were being sabotaged, or something just wasn't meant to be. Maybe something didn't work out for you. Maybe something just didn't create the right balance for you. For some of you, there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity speaking to you. And this opportunity is saying that you've been defeated, yes, in the past. You've gone through a lot of things that may have gotten your attention in a certain kind of way. Something that may have made you feel as if, okay, it wasn't my fault. I tried the best I could. I did what I could do. But things were just not good for you, or not balanced in a certain kind of way. It's also talking about wanting the opportunity, air signs, to change something or make something better. It's like you want a second chance at something, or with a second chance with someone. This opportunity is going to allow you to experience a lot of new things coming your way that are going to both bless you and benefit you more than you ever even expected. So I want you to understand one thing, air signs, is that your past does not write or mimic your future. Your past is something that you can't change at this point. Okay, you can't change it at this point, air signs. But there is definitely a new beginning. It's not how you started. It's going to be about how you finished. Okay, air signs. It's going to be all about how you finished. The way that you were able to make something happen. All right. This is definitely going to be beneficial to you in a lot of phases. And again, for some of you, it's relationship with families. For some of you, air signs, this could definitely be about a love relationship, something you've been working on or waiting on for quite some time, something that made you feel maybe like you weren't able to do it, or you weren't good enough, or it wasn't meant to be at a certain period of time. But things are changing for you now. Things are going to get much, much better here. Things are going to be opening up for you as we speak. So what I want you to know is, air signs, there's going to be a dramatic change for you. This change is going to be all about, again, starting something new, having something new done, working either around the clock or working very hard on a specific task, okay? So be aware of that. It's definitely going to be about you working hard, trying to get something done, so to speak. Trying to allow a certain person or situation to become exactly what you want it to be, real. So I do feel like for a lot of you, there is going to be a sign that's going to tell you when the right time is for you to take the opportunity to do something new, okay? This is going to give you the opportunity to allow somebody back in, trying something again for the second time, maybe the third time for some of you. But this is definitely going to be in your favor. So air signs, a lot of changes are coming. Don't give up on your situation, whatever's going on right now, because I do see that something's going to turn in your favor. So don't panic, okay? Please, please, please do not panic. Now, back to cooking for one moment before I get to fire signs. So I have this egg that we had taken, and this egg needs to be cut up. Now, I can't cut it up in that pan because if I do, well, that'll scratch my pan. Let me just put some soap in there. Now this is very simple and easy to do. So you're just going to take the egg itself like that. Hopefully you can see that. If not, I'm going to hold it with one hand. But you take the egg like that. I cut straight down. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to, as a matter of fact, I'm going to cut 3 like this. I'm going to cut like this. And then I'm going to cut it across. And then I'm going to cut it across. So you have almost like little squares. Alright, and if you think your squares are too big, make another cut. Make another cut. Because you want it to fit on your spoon when you're eating, okay? So depending on the way you like it. Alright, but you want to cut these eggs. And again, all they had was some salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. They also had some breadcrumb because they need that texture. Okay, they got to have the texture, or they won't last. So it'll be soggy and disgusting in your soup. So we don't want that. Now, again, we always use our seasoning. And these eggs, the taste of it, I love it. I love it. I love the taste. So the taste of it is amazing. Once my soup comes to a boil, so I'm going to put this back in the fridge for a minute, because I'm going to turn on my burner, which I believe is this one. See if I'm wrong or right. I always get them wrong, but it should be. Okay, so my burner's on. Once my soup comes to a boil, that's the sauce on the side, but you can see how it's going to change colors. See how it's not going to be so white anymore because of the sauce that I put in here. So it's not going to be your traditional white soup. Okay? It's just not going to be. Now, it's got the chicken in it. It's got the onions in it. It's got the celery in it. It's got the broth in it. It's got the bone broth in it. It's got the stock in it. It will have, instead of using escarole, which is real sandy and salty, I got the, or more, real sandy, I got the spinach, which is great, and I will take care of that. But for now, I'm going to leave the spinach in the refrigerator because I want to keep it as cold as I can. Oops. Got so much food in the refrigerator. Okay, so I got the spinach in there. I am going to put my lid on in a minute. I'm going to scoop up these eggs and get them into the pot over there. So give me 1 second to do that. Give me 1 second. So as I put these eggs, hopefully I don't drop them. You know what I'll do? Great idea. Let me take my lid that has a little soap on it and rinse that off real good. This is my pot lid. All right. So what I'll do, I'll just save myself a trip. Put the eggs up on here. And it's okay that it's a little wet because guess what? These eggs are going to go right into the juice. And they're going to be just fine. Nothing will happen to these eggs. So I'm going to put these eggs right into here. There we go. They are in. Once again, rinse my lid. Put my lid on top. Close that. Let me clean off my counter just for a second. All right. And then we can finish with the readings. 2 seconds, you guys. Eventually, I will put these into the dishwasher because I don't like to wash really too much by hand. I just prefer the dishwasher for sanitizing things much better. But I'll tell you, these non-stick pans are amazing. You saw that I cooked the egg in there. All I did was put a little bit of water in here. And now my pan is back spotless. So, very easy to do. This soup, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. It's on high right now. But I want to get it to medium. So I'll leave it on medium so I have time to talk to you guys. So the first cards that come up for me are talking about needing to embrace what's going on here. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, needing to embrace. All right? Needing to embrace. Don't be afraid to try something, to make something work out. Don't be afraid to give something a chance. The next thing is to teach others what you've been through. Teach them how to survive it. Teach them what you can do next. Next is the situation is going to improve. For many of you, this is going to change before you know it. For some of you, there's movement, or you're moving, or you're trying to get out of the way of something. For some of you, you will get what is well-deserved reward for you. For a lot of you, coming together is very important. Look, my grandson made his little stick. You're going to open up your heart, open up your mind, be free or willing to be open to somebody's answers or what they need to tell you about. The next one is blossom. So beginning to bloom, to grow, to share. Balance is always important. Each and every sign, sun, moon, and rising. Observe, pay attention. Sometimes less talking, more listening. For a lot of you, believe and succeed. So this is all very, very important. Okay? Very, very important. Believe and succeed. So what's coming up next is fire signs. So fire signs, you've been struggling or you've been back and forth with a battle or a situation. Just wondering how you're going to... Oh, I forgot to put my meatballs in, didn't I? Just a minute. Wondering how you're going to resolve something or solve an issue. Sorry about that. So, remember you guys, I told you that I had made my meatballs earlier. So I am going to put these meatballs here into my soup. Whoops. Okay, so the meatballs are in. I definitely mix them around. Now this soup is really, really delicious and amazing. It has a little bit of everything in it. It's got the celery, it's got the onions. You guys know, you saw me putting everything in. This soup is really, really plenty for dinner. Plenty for dinner. So let me come out here and finish talking with you guys. I got my coffee out here. Let me just dump my ashtray. And then we'll do fire signs. So fire signs. Yep. Fire signs, you've been waiting and waiting patiently, and I thank you for that. Thank you, fire signs. And then when I'm done, you know me, I need to vacuum and clean up my kitchen because I can't stand when everything's a mess. I can't take it. All right. Last night I ate some crab legs for dinner. Oh my God, was my house stinking. Oh my God, was my house stinking. I had some crab legs for dinner, and man, my house was stinking. Anyway, so with that being said, fire signs, what's coming up around you or what energies I'm feeling as I'm doing this video is talking pretty much about you wanting change or wanting to create change, you being afraid to maybe step out to something or afraid to allow something to work for you. Excuse me. But fire signs, you have to realize, Aries, Leo, Sag, you are worth the risk. It is worth taking that risk, okay? It is going to work out. Next I hear is fire signs that, although there has been troubles or storms around you, that storm is now lifting. Things are starting to pass by or pass over. There is going to be a lot of opportunity for you coming very soon that is going to open a door for you. You're going to decide that you're going to let something go or you're going to walk away from something, and things are going to work out in your favor. Something new is coming to visit you, or someone new is coming to visit you. Something is coming face to face or being offered or presented to you as a gift. So be ready for that. Yeah, HR, I know that non-sticks are definitely lethal to birds. I had a parakeet a long time ago when I was about 22, and in my apartment I was studying in college, and I was cooking on that pan, and I heard a noise, and here my bird had passed, and I didn't know that I killed the bird. So yes, I definitely understand that. I always have windows or doors or something ventilated, but I don't have any birds in here, so thank goodness. Anyway, next up is water signs. Water signs, a lot of creativity around you, trying to do something new, water signs. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Also, a lot of you are ending one situation but getting into something else. Some of you are going back to a situation or back to a relationship because you can't figure out how to get away from them. You can't figure out how to let somebody go. It's almost like you're so hooked on them and you keep telling yourself, I belong with them, they're right for me, we're perfect together. Even though we fight, even though we argue, even though they say this, and even though they treat me like that, a lot of you still feel that that's where you belong. I can't change that. You got to grow through that yourself. So that's Aries, fire, air, water, and earth. So, oh, happy birthday, Susan. Happy birthday, Saturday. So definitely, yep, blue eyes, definitely a lot of changes coming. So you guys saw pretty much the whole outcome here of the soup. All that's left for me to do now is wait for it to get to a boil. Then I will put my spinach leaves in because it is very, 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 very important to make sure your spinach leaves reach a certain temperature. Now, I can cheat because this bag is microwavable. I can put this bag first in the microwave and then add my spinach to the soup, which I think I might do because I am overprotective. I just want to make sure, just like when I cook pork, I make sure that pork is cooked over and over very, 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 very well. I get very nervous. I don't want to get sick, and I don't want anybody else to get sick. So all I can say is make sure your spinach reaches a proper temperature. What do I know that temperature to be? I'm not sure. I just usually cook the hell out of it, steam the hell out of it, boil the hell out of it, fry the hell out of it, sear the hell out of it. I just cook it like crazy. So you can do whatever way feels more convenient or comfortable to you, but make sure it is always cooked safely. Make sure your counters are always clean, no cross-contamination, okay? Luckily, the only thing I had to cut last was the chicken, and I had the eggs, but the chicken was already cooked. It wasn't raw, so that was a good thing. Everything is completely finished for this soup, like I said, except for me adding in the spinach. The chicken is in there. All the vegetables are in there. So now it's just a matter of time of waiting. So I will try to come back on and give you a short video of the end result so you can see what it looks like. And I will use either angidipede, the little round balls, kind of like the ones used for tapioca pudding, or I will use the bow ties, the small little bow tie noodles, which look really cute in soups too. So I might try that as well. So we'll see which one I end up with. I will show you my final results very soon. Hope you enjoyed coming on my live and cooking with me. Hope you also enjoyed, let me just go you one more time. Hope you also enjoyed This lovely weather that we're having here in New Jersey. It now sounds like it's starting to hail and sleet, which it is, yes. You can see it on my hand, dropping on my hand. It is hail and sleet coming down now, which is going to make it almost impossible to shovel this stuff because it's freezing over top of it. So it is just becoming a hot mess. I have a plow coming down the street now, hopefully to clear up the streets a little bit and make it a little bit better, but eventually I'm not going to be able to get out of that parking spot because the snow is going to just pile up there. We're all going to have a hell of a mess to get out of this one. You can see the snow on the streets with the plow down there, the way that the snow is lifting up on the plow and it's pushing it all down this way. It's definitely a lot of snow here. We probably got anywhere between 4 and 5 inches at this point, but you can see the snow on the plow and it's just ruffling like waves of the ocean because there's so much out here. But these guys are doing a great job and definitely getting stuff done. You can see all the snow. Look how much heavy the snow is. See how weight it is? It's a lot of snow. A lot of snow. Wow. Crazy. Anyway, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Nope, I didn't get any mail, so that's good. No news is good news. And I will see you guys soon. I will be doing sticks at some point today as soon as I just take a breather and have my lunch. And then I will be back to do sticks and mini reads. The sticks will be $30 again for 3 sticks, or mini reads. Mini reads, not mini minis, but mini reads, okay, that are $125. So if you're interested in a mini read through PayPal or sticks, $30. All right, you guys, see you soon.